Wasn't going to film this, but um, these are the controllers that I'm using. The Sony PlayStation navigation controllers. This is the charger. When I got these, I bought them from someone on astromech.net that was selling a bunch of them that he hadn't checked the batteries or anything, and they actually did charge and work, but I had no idea how old the batteries were, how long they would last. So fast forward to now, about 6 years later, or 5 years, or however long it's been, and I went online and saw how easy it is to change these batteries. So yeah, I wasn't going to make any video, but I'll just go ahead and show, since it's something I'm doing, that I'll show. It's just 4 screws to take this off. Here's what I'm guessing is the original battery. Both of these controllers, the batteries look the same, which makes me think they might be original. So the guy had multiple controllers he was selling, and probably just had them all in a box, and picked out 2 or 3 or 4, however many people were buying from him. So I'm assuming that these might be the original batteries, since both controllers had the exact same battery. One reason I am doing this video, apart from the fact, like I said, you can find a video on how to replace these batteries. It's no big deal, as long as you're careful and don't drop any screws or little parts that can fall out. But if you're ordering the battery, it was a little bit confusing for me, because not only are there PlayStation Navigator controllers, or navigation controllers, there's also the PlayStation Move controllers that have the like translucent ball on the top that lights up different colors, and those take a different battery than these do. So just want to make sure everybody knows this is an L1, or is it an I? I guess it's an I for probably LiPo. LIS 1442. I think that the Move controllers, I think, use a 1441, I think it was. So make sure you're getting an LIS 1442. It's a 3.7 liter battery. I think there are modifications online to put a larger battery, but there's not a lot of extra room in this thing, so I'm not sure how much you'd have to hack. Maybe you'd have to hack the top and the bottom off of this little battery holder, so the battery could extend further up this direction. I don't know if it can go backwards, because the USB connector is there, and 2 charging points that made up with that charger. So yeah, I would expect if you're doing a larger battery, you're probably going to be chopping the top of this off and extending the battery upwards. And it's been years since I saw something on how to do that, but I also believe that what they did is they took one of the dead batteries, and there's, you can't see it very good in this one, but there's actual small circuit board in here that I believe prevents the battery from totally discharging, which can damage the battery. So I think it's got a little cutoff where it senses once the battery voltage reaches a certain amount, it turns the controller off, so that you then have to charge it back up again. So I think the modification ran something along the lines of cut this shrink wrap around the battery, take off that little circuit board, put it onto a longer battery, modify this holder so that a bigger battery fits, and I think it will still charge with the factory charger. But don't take my word for it. Like I said, that was years ago where I saw that, and I was thinking of doing it, but I just decided to buy a couple replacement batteries off of Amazon. They both came with this little kit with a little crappy screwdriver and a little plastic tool, actually 2 plastic tools for prying the case apart. This one, I didn't need the plastic tool once I took the 4 screws out. This was free. The other one had some soda or beer or some kind of brown liquid that had been spilled on it in the channels, which I didn't know because that was the first one I did and it didn't come apart. So I used this little plastic, what do they call it, spudging tools to get in there and just kind of rock it back and forth until the cover popped off of that one, and then I cleaned all the brown goop off of the seam there where it got wet. Other than that, yeah, just watch a video on how these things go together. This has got this, half has this little ribbon cable that's just friction fit in here, so just mind the orientation when you pull it out. You can also do this leaving it connected, but these are fairly easy to damage, so it's probably less risky to just carefully pull it out, replace your battery, and then put it back in. And then 4 screws, and it goes back together. Again, make sure there's no wires sticking out that you're going to pinch when you put that back together. And you should have new batteries in your controller. I do not know how long they last because I have only ever used them on my Droid for, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes. I went over it was that I made the video in my garage where I was driving him around. That's the longest he's been powered on ever. So that was, I'm sure that was less than, well, maybe it was a half an hour because I was making a video, but I just figured I'd go ahead and get some new batteries. Hope they're new. I didn't actually look to see if there's any kind of date code on the replacement batteries I got. 600 milliamp hour. Yeah, the controller, I believe mine is the CECH-ZC or S1U. Yep, ZC-S1U. So that's it. New batteries. Hopefully they will charge. I'm not quite sure how this, if this charger is good. I got this charger just locally off Craigslist. And before I changed the batteries, one of them, this side, it actually blinks that it's charging, and this side it doesn't. I think there might be something wrong with this side, but I thought it might be the battery too, because I took a cable and plugged this into my PC, and the one that wasn't charging, no matter which place I put it, charged when it was connected to my PC. This one, after I changed the battery, I put it in here and the light was not blinking, which indicates charging. But I moved it over to this side and it started charging. So I don't know if there's something wrong with this slot here on this charger I have, but guess I'll see when I put this one in. Yeah, that's about it. All right, quick follow-up. Hopefully you can see both of the red lights are blinking, which means they are both charging. That is the first time they've ever both charged. So when I got them, yeah, I'm assuming those were the original batteries. One of them was a little bit better than the other because it would charge whether it was in the right or left side. The other one wouldn't charge, but when I hooked it up to my computer, it did charge. Something about that. Again, you can find all this information online just looking up these controllers. This is a cable that I use to charge it. Right, it's just a mini USB. but this came from a keyboard. So I believe the trick to getting these to charge by hooking them up to a PC is that they have to be an actual cable that has both power and data lines populated. So normally I think you can plug those directly into a PlayStation, but I believe I remember reading that if you plug these into a computer that sometimes they won't charge. And then I read that that's because if you have just a USB cable that's just made for charging with just power and ground, these won't charge. But if you get one that actually has the data lines, it will charge. And also my Windows PC actually recognized what those were. So I don't know if I can actually use those with Windows for something. Not that I would really want to, but yeah, good news. Again, got these off Amazon. CECH-ZCS1U is the model on the back of my controllers. And like I said, make sure you get the correct battery and not the one that goes to the Move controllers that have the translucent ball on top.